3 here. Michael is on the brink of elimination. The runner-up from last season could potentially go out here in the round of 8 in what I think some people would say is an upset, although TerrOr, of course, is very, very strong. I don't think this would be much of an upset if TerrOr did win, but a very interesting result nonetheless. So, the next map is going to be Wind and Cloud, our lovely map created, I think, for last season's Sonic Star League by the Gosu Korean mapmaker Rose of Dream. Is it Rose of Dream? I can never remember if it's Rose of Dream or Rose and Dream. Close enough. Roses, dreams, all that good stuff. Winds and clouds. Anyway. Oh, by the way, again, I think my Twitch chat is still not working. Let me quickly refresh this. But there is a live report thread in TerrOr tournaments. It's TLS2 round of 8. Go chat there. You will see such gems as how do I bring this on the screen? I'll do it over in the game. Anyway, so let's just go on to the game. Game number 3, TerrOr versus Michael. Alright, here we go into game number 3 at the top right as the Teal Terran leading 2-0 in this series. One game away from the semifinals, it is KT TerrOr at the bottom left as the Blue Zerg, who could get eliminated despite coming in second place last season. It is going to be Michael, and here we go! Oh, good old standard build order. 8 drone, 9 kick to apocalypse. And actually, it looks like the chat's working now, so that's pretty sweet. But you know what? You should still go to the live report thread, because you know what's in the live report thread? Gems like this. Look at that. Boom. I don't know who this is. Bulgarian Toss. Clearly a Bulgaria fan. And has drawn a flag for Technics. I mean, how awesome is that, you know? I mean, you know, normally people make cheerfuls in Photoshop or Paint or whatever, but this guy actually went and made a cheerful in real life. He just, like, took some bedsheet or something and drew a cheerful on it, so that is pretty badass. And it's not even like the right match. He's like putting up, you know, Technics cheerfuls, and it's like it's still Michael versus TerrOr. This guy's hardcore. Anyway, Overpool. Somebody doesn't want to get bunker rushed again. Actually, Overpool's pretty standard. Well, definitely not as common as a 12 hatch, but like Siki always overpools even in CVT. Siki seems to overpool all the time, even in every matchup, and a lot of the time in ZVZ. Although obviously in ZVZ you want to mix it up a little bit so people can't hard counter you. But still, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Anyway, enough about him. Ooh, I like it. I like it. We got a fast gas here from TerrOr. What could be in store today? Factory expand, 2-port Wraith, Vulture drop, a lot of good shenanigans that can happen here. It is cross map, so that might make it a little bit more difficult for him depending on what he goes for. And one thing in particular he has to be careful of is if he does a 1-fact expand, he has to be very, very wary of Michael doing a Ling all-in, because I think that's how he lost like 2 different games last season against Michael, was doing this build, doing this opening, 1-fact expand, not actually seeing Michael just go for the speedling counter and then just dying. So I really hope he's learned his lessons from last season. Although again, it's not necessarily the build he's doing, although he is pulling guys off gas here. He's pulled 1 actually, not both, which lends me to think that he may still get a starport or something along those lines. It's fairly suspicious. In the meantime, some Lings are moving out, but again, it's cross position, so it's not going to be great for Michael. He's actually going towards the bottom right as well. So going in the wrong direction, a little bit unfortunate, which, you know, means his Lings are going to be basically useless here. Although, I mean, TerrOr didn't actually realize he went the wrong way, so he's blocked his ramp anyway. It's quite funny, because actually usually you go directly cross map with your Lings in this kind of situation. I don't know what made Michael go to the close position. I almost always see Zerg players, if they don't know, just blindly go cross map. So that's a little bit weird to me. It might be that Terra assumed the same, which is why he blocked his ramp like that. So, looks like Michael gonna poke here, gonna see there's absolutely no chance for him to bust this. And, yes, there is a second factory, so my suspicions about the second guy on gas were in fact correct here. I don't think this is just a reaction to the pool. I think it definitely is a planned build. However, I'm curious to see what he actually does here. I mean, obviously, two-facting is something you generally expect more in TVP, not in TVZ. So, it's very interesting to see what happens here. I mean, the most memorable two-fact for me is the one 4GG did, I think on Andromeda, although I'm not sure. And he effectively did a TVP two-fact. He actually had the same unit composition, just like vultures and tanks. And I can't remember who the Zerg was. It might even have been Jaedong, but probably not. I don't think Jaedong would lose to that. Maybe he would, I don't know. But yeah, he actually just like killed the Zerg with vultures and tanks. It was mind-blowing, and the commentators were going crazy. I hope somebody knows the exact game I'm talking about. Somebody usually knows, and they can link it in the chat or something. And we got some speed going on. It's going to be some mass two-fact vaults here. This is not something I would expect from most players. However, from TerrOr, he does really like his Vulture shenanigans. And I mean, he really likes them. So that's going to be interesting. Ooh, if he can actually catch his Overlord as well. Oh my god. He might actually catch his Overlord. There's nowhere for the Overlord to go. And the Vulture is going to protect the Marines from Zerglings. And there's two other Vultures going on the map. Oh my god, this is going to be horrible. Michael's going to lose one of his starting Overlords. Oh my god, he's trying to run away, but he can't. But the Marines stopped. Why did they stop? Oh my god, he's losing that Overlord. However, look at this. Michael's going for a huge Ling attack. He's making a lot of Lings. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Terra needs to not let this do that much. There's a lot of Lings coming out. These Lings, if they get into the base, are going to be deadly. There's more Vultures coming out, though, and Speed Vultures can micro very effectively against Lings. But look at this. The Marines are running back. I don't think they'll get home in time. However, the 4 Vulture run by. Are they going to get through? I don't think they're going to get through. But however, they have this nice little corner. And oh my god, 1 Vulture does get through. He needs to micro this like a boss. Come on, it's Nada mode time. He needs to activate Nada mode if this Vulture's alive. However, he's not paying attention in his main. He's not paying attention, and now the Lings are in his main. He's going to micro that Vulture, and he's lost the Vulture in his main. However, Michael not paying attention either, allowing his drones to just chill. Meanwhile, 3 Vultures denying mining at Michael's natural. However, these Lings in the main are now uncontested. 2 more Vultures are about to pop, but even then, more SCVs are falling here. Michael forcing a cancel on the armory, but these 2 Vultures should be able to take care of these Zerglings with some good patrol micro. Not the best patrol micro I've ever seen, but it should be enough here. Yeah, Michael's going to lose that force he had in Terra's base. However, it looks like the Vultures in Michael's base have also been killed here. I don't actually know who's ahead right now. Spire is on the way, and remember, Michael forced a cancel on the armory. However, if Terra rebuilds the armory right now, he should be completely fine. Yeah, he's going to rebuild it now. He's got 4 more Speed Vultures moving out across the map. However, Michael, look at this, has snuck some Lings around the side to the 3 o'clock. Can he block? Oh my god, he doesn't have any more Lings, but Terra doesn't know it though. Does Terra know? He's gonna go for it! Michael needs to block! He's trying to block with drones, but it's not in time! Oh my god, Michael has nothing to block here! He's got 4 Vultures in his main and nothing to protect the drones! Michael is in such huge trouble right now! He's gotta wait for something. He doesn't even have a Hydra Den, and making Zerglings won't do anything. He actually has to wait for the Mutalisks to clean up the Vultures. However, Terra did sacrifice 2 Vultures going down the ramp. But look at this, Michael can't even mine properly in his natural. He's not mining at all in his main base. He needs to wait for the Mutas, but it looks like he's not. He's making some Zerglings to at least clear these out, and looks like, oh, he's gonna get it. Yes, he's gonna clear out the main, and I think he will be able to clear out this last Vulture. It doesn't have enough room to micro with that sunken colony there, so it looks like Michael will use Lings to clear it out. However, look at his money count right now. His Spire is done, but he can only afford 2 Mutalisks. Meanwhile, Terra has gotten an expansion now. He's got his armory up. He can start making Goliaths. He hasn't started Goliath production yet, but with how few Mutas Michael can actually make, even if he just starts making them now, he will be fine. And actually, Michael is making drones. He's not making Mutas. He's making drones instead because he lost so many to that Vulture attack. Meanwhile, these Vultures are just chilling back here, just protecting against the Ling counterattack. It's pretty cute that Terra's just microing that 1 Vulture when he has 3 more at home. I mean, Michael's gonna run in there. He's gonna, well, he might get a nice scout off. No, not quite. You're gonna see the eBay is about to complete. And the first two Goliaths do pop. Goliath range is on the way as well. Not that there are any mutas coming, and there is the first Mutalisk, but that is not going to be nearly in time to do anything whatsoever. Meanwhile, more Vultures are coming out, and again, there's nothing really blocking here. There are two Sunken Colonies, but these Vultures can definitely run by here. Is Michael going to block this time? Yes, he will block this time, and these Vultures will immediately turn tail and run. And look at this, not even really losing one. But the first Muta looks like it's coming over here. The turret at the natural is not done yet, but there are 4 Goliaths, it looks like, in range. Is well on its way to finishing. The upgrade doesn't take very long at all, so that should be finished fairly soon. And, well, at least Michael is pushing these Vultures away. Meanwhile, he's actually getting Carapace here, so gonna go for some heavy Muta action. Well, seeing as his opponent is going for Mass Goliaths, that definitely does make sense. And you know, you might think, well, Goliaths do so much damage against anti-air. Does the Carapace really matter? Actually, because of damage types, Goliaths don't actually do an insane amount of damage to Muta. Mutas, I believe, are small unit type, so Goliaths only do half damage to them. And also, the Goliath shot actually counts as 2 separate attacks. So the Muta armor applies twice, which is very, very, very handy. So Muta Carapace is actually quite useful. But the bigger problem here, obviously, is that TerrOr has an expansion and Michael has no third. So, you know, kind of like last game, 2 base against 2 base is just not going to go well for the Zerg in the long run. Not to mention the fact that Michael lost so many drones already. Actually, let's take a look at his drone counts. He barely 1 per patch here at the natural, about 1 per patch here in the main. I mean, he is really, really hurting. He really wants to get a third now, especially because, I mean, the main counter to someone who's meching is to actually just to expand really, really fast and out-macro them. But obviously he can't really do that in this situation, especially since he's gone for Mutas instead of Hydras. So he can poke around and be aggressive, but he doesn't really have great defense against marauding Vultures around on the map, which he would if he had Hydralisks instead. So that could be problematic. Like, these Vultures can actually come in here and snipe this drone. And another problem is that... Well, maybe not the problem, but another issue is that TerrOr is now going back into Bio again. He's doing what worked for him in game number 1. He's going back to Biomech, and what is Michael going to do about it? I mean, in game number 1, Michael didn't really show a great reaction. He just played a mech, an anti-mech composition instead of an anti-biomech. To be honest, I don't actually know exactly what a good anti-biomech composition is. I guess it depends a lot on exactly what balance of units there are. I mean, like, if it's a bit more marine heavy, you know, you want to get a few more lurkers, and I guess if it's more Goliath heavy, you want more Hydras. That Muta, by the way, I don't know if it saw enough barracks here, because it died right on the command center. And the vision range isn't fantastic. So I don't actually know if he got far in enough to see those barracks, but he does have a lot of Mutas right now. And again, you know, Medic Marine Goliath is essentially the exact counter to Mutas, short of, like, Mass Valkyries, I guess. You know, there's not actually anything much better. I mean, the range of the Goliaths and the DPS and the Marines work hand in hand. I mean, Day9 even, I think, did a daily about it, so, you know, it's gotta be good. If Day9 did a daily about it, you know you're doing something right. However, Michael is double expanding, which is, again, the correct thing to do against mech, but not necessarily against biomech. I mean, Michael just seems to be really thrown off by what TerrOr is doing here, this kind of unorthodox style, the unorthodox unit composition. Really working out for TerrOr. And in the meantime, looks like one Vulture gonna harass a bit, but we'll skedaddle. Ooh, look at that! Perfect runaway timing. Yes, that's a thing, runaway timing. It's very crucial. And oh, looks like TerrOr is getting ready to move out, though. That's a very scary force. I mean, imagine if you're a Zerg player and you have 20 Mutas and you see this force. I mean, do you really want to attack this with 20 Mutas? I wouldn't even attack this if I had 40 Mutas. I would just be shitting myself. I mean, look at this. Michael's his only Mutas, and what is he going to do? He's got +1 Carapace, sure, but I mean, does that really matter? I mean, look at this force. TerrOr must be so happy that he's facing pure Mutas. He's like, oh, really? You're gonna do that? I mean, the only way this could be better for him if he was going Mass Firebat and Michael was going Mass Zergling. I mean, that's essentially how bad the Mutas are right now. It's just not gonna work. And look at this, Michael, he can't engage. He's just building Sunkens everywhere because he knows nothing's gonna work. Oh man, and look at this. The force is going straight for the natural. So Michael is, again, in pretty significant trouble, and he doesn't even have any Hydras to fall back on. He's only got Mutas, so here we go. He's gonna have to make do with the Mutas. He's gotta go while the Sunkens are still alive. The Sunkens will provide a lot of good DPS for him, and here he goes! The Mutas going in! More Mutas spawning! Lings are coming out! There's so much DPS from the Marines, oh look at this! The Mutas are just melting! Oh my god, Michael pulling back a little bit. The Sunkens are still alive. He's building emergency Sunkens. A lot of the Marines have fallen though. It looks like Michael may hold this. It's gonna be close. The Sunkens are falling. He's got 2 more Sunkens about to pop here. Michael, can he hold it? Oh my god, I think he can. I think he can hold with these 2 Sunkens. Yes, Michael is going to survive the attack against all odds. With only Mutalisks against Medic Marine Goliath, Michael has somehow won the engagement. I don't understand how he held that at all. That was just crazy. Michael has held, and he now has 4 bases. Now, obviously, these aren't really mining that much, but he does have this 3rd gas. And TerrOr, I don't think, has a 3rd command center. He's got no sign of a 3rd command center. He's, you know, really committing hard to this attack. He doesn't even have his 2nd gas, which means his, you know, his science vessel tech is going to be late. His star tech is going to be late. I mean, he's fairly committed to this attack. It's not necessarily all in, but it, you know, it's very, very. It's got to do a little bit more damage than this, I think. He killed a lot of Mutas, obviously, but he hasn't done any economic damage yet. But, oh man, Michael, though, he can't really throw away small groups of units like this. Oh, really doesn't want to throw these away. This is good. Picking off reinforcements is good, but really got to be careful with his units. I mean, he was supply blocked for a second. He's back to 60 of 61. TerrOr still with a supply lead, and it looks like this hatchery is going to fall. Now, thankfully for Michael, he didn't have any drones there. But that is going to mean it's going to be back down to 3 base Zerg against 2 base Terran, which is fine for both players, in fact. But the key thing is TerrOr just going to try and turn this into an all-in and go for the kill, or is he going to transition out? The 3rd bases are a little bit far away on this map. You have to move out into the middle of the map and have a little bit of control if you want to be able to take a 3rd. And so that's not going to be easy for TerrOr, but oh man, Michael looks like he's trying to go for a counterattack, but TerrOr, well prepared again. It looks like TerrOr just really kind of countering Michael's aggressive style here. You know, Michael really trying to go for these big counterattacks, and every single time, TerrOr is completely prepared in his natural expansion for exactly this move. I mean, he knows exactly what Michael's going to do in these situations. He knows Michael still, despite that earlier victory, cannot really afford to attack this force head on. Although, where the hell are these medics going? Man, TerrOr's got to keep these medics with the Marine series. We've seen a few times already this series him just having, you know, units run around all over the place. And oh man, it looks like some of these units are going to get caught on the retreat here as they go home. It looks like TerrOr's not going to continue. There are 3 Sunkens, I think, at the 6 o'clock, so it's probably a wise decision not to persist here and just, you know, keep his force together. And you can see, oh man, that's a big force. It looks like he's just going to regroup here and go for another shot. Is he going to go for the 6 o'clock? It is surrounded by high ground cliffs, so he can easily tank it, shell those Sunkens from the high ground, which would be really painful for Michael to deal with. Meanwhile, Michael has no additional tech. He doesn't have a Hydra Den. Michael is actually completely committed on Mutalink here. He has no den. I mean, this is pretty crazy, and look at this. I mean, TerrOr's just continuing with the bio. Oh man, these Goliaths are still taking their toll on the Mutas. Oh god, the Mutas not even firing a shot, just running the gauntlet there. However, oh my god, he has +2 carapace. I did not realize, but Michael, while all this has been going on, has somehow had the money to invest in +2 carapace. And look at this, they're unupgraded Marines and Goliaths. That +2 carapace could be absolutely huge. I mean, the Marines have gone from doing 6 damage to 4 damage. It's like, you know, a third of their damage has just been nullified from the Marines. That is actually huge. And oh my god, Michael's going for a counterattack. What is there in the main? There's 2 turrets in the main base. There's a few units here. There's 3 Goliaths. Finally, a 3rd command center. But this counterattack could be huge. It looks like TerrOr's decided to pull his units back. His army is close enough to home, not far enough out on the map to warrant going for a base creating situation. He wants to pull back here, but these Mutas are going to wreak havoc in the meantime. The Terran army is finally getting back home here. It looks like the turrets are going to fall. How many SCVs will he kill before he's forced to retreat? The Marines are coming back. He cannot stay for too long. He's going to try and get a few kills before running away, but you can see he cannot really afford to stay very long. Might want to grab his SCV. No, he's just going to go for the retreat. But look at this. Michael's getting another base here. Michael could pull this back. In fact, I would say that Michael's actually ahead right now, because Michael is now getting his 4th base. He's at 90 supply against 117, so he's still a little bit behind. Okay, maybe he's not necessarily ahead, but if he can keep counterattacking and stopping TerrOr from moving out, I mean, he's actually not in terrible shape, somehow. Now, does TerrOr... Okay, that's not blinking. Does he have +1 finally? He still doesn't have +1. He's not even getting it. He has an eBay, but he's not upgrading. I mean, the +2 carapace is really killing him right now. And he's got his 3rd command center. He's going to try and float it out to 3 o'clock. There are a few links here that should really be blocking it, but aren't quite. Meanwhile, another big scary force of Terror's moving out, and you know, even with the +2 carapace, you gotta be careful with the mutas, but damn, that is a lot of Mutalisks. And obviously they're a lot more mobile than the Biomech force, so you know, the real strength of Bio is the mobility, and you know, that's the one big weakness of Mech. So when you have Biomech, you're kind of in between. I mean, you know, he's got mostly Goliaths, so he's not completely static, the army, but it's still not quite as good as a pure Bio plus Vessel army. And look at this Michael going in once again! You know, he saw with the Lings that the army was moving out, and he's now just going in with a whole bunch of +2 mutas, and he's gonna snipe the starport! He's gonna get the starport! TerrOr tried to make a Valkyrie to counter the mass muta threat, but he no longer has a starport. I think TerrOr should just like make 2 starports in his natural or something, because he can't defend his main. This is crazy. Does he have a barracks rally here, by the way? What the hell is this? What the hell is this? I don't even know. Anyway, it looks like TerrOr is establishing his 30. He's getting a lot more turrets. He should just build mass turrets here. Okay, he's got a few units rallied back. He is building a lot of turrets because he knows that this army is still something that's very scary for Michael to engage. Michael really relying on buying time with the counterattacks, but it looks like he might be forced to engage now. This could be it here. No more running around. No more backstabbing for Michael. This could be the final battle, but Michael, again, looks like he's going towards the main, although he's not quite sure here. Some indecisiveness here. The muta's flying back and forth. He needs to pick one way or the other because the Terran is going to come knocking on his front door in a second here. You can see how many Sunkens he has made in preparation for this attack. It looks like he might not even be sure where the Terran is, but okay, I guess now he knows. Now that the tanks started sieging down his front. And what are his mutas doing? He's going for a counterattack. Is Michael going for a base trade? Michael's actually going for a base trade. He does not want to fight this army. He's just going for it. This is going to be crazy here, and Michael might actually win the base trade because he's got the corner expansion as well. He's got more bases, and here he goes into the main base. There are some units here, but there's nowhere near enough to deal with that many units, and now Terror's going for the front. That is a lot of sunken colonies. Terror cannot afford to wait for the siege tank to finish him off. He just has to commit. He's got a lot of Marines. They are falling, though, to the Sunkens, but now all the Sunkens are falling. They're not quite going to finish it. It looks like, oh my god, all the mutas. That is so many mutas. I can't believe it. That is a ridiculous number of mutas, and Michael looks like he's decided to come back and kill off the army. For some reason, he didn't commit to the base trade. I don't understand. That change of mind could actually cost him this game here because he's just wasted so much time coming all the way back, cross-map to defend his main. He's lost his natural expansion, but the question is if he has enough mutas to kill this. If he can kill this off, he could still win the game, and here we go. This could be the engagement. Why are Terror's units not attacking? Oh my god, Terror thinks he doesn't have enough, and he's right. He's just running into the base because he's not nearly enough units. And Michael clears up the Terran army convincingly. However, another small group of units is going to take out the top left expansion. Terror sees that, and if he can kill that base, Michael will be down to just the 6 o'clock and his main base, while Terror will actually, Terror will be on his natural and his third, so it'll kind of be 2 base to 2 base-ish. But the thing is, the Terran army was completely obliterated, and Michael has 1 million Mutalisks. Man, this is crazy. I mean, Michael looked so behind after the early game Vultures. Let me remind you guys, I mean, you know, Terror ran in with like 4 Vultures and massacred the main drone line, and somehow Michael is now in position to take the game. He's actually got a supply lead, 102 to 80 supply. He's taking down the third base of Terror. Terror's bringing in reinforcements, but now he's decided to abandon the base because there's no way he can save anything here. He has killed Michael's top left base, but look at this. The 6 o'clock is well defended by Sunkens. The main base has mutas rallied here. And I think this epic muta fleet of Michael is just going to take down everything right now. Oh man, what does Terror have? He's got barely anything. The +2 mutas are coming in here. The Marines, by the way, and the Goliaths are all still unupgraded. And Terror, GG's out. Michael takes game number 3 in an amazing comeback. I cannot believe we are going to another game here. I thought for sure that was going to be a 3-0 when those Vultures took down the drone line. That was an unbelievable comeback from Michael. He still has some fight in him. That is why he was the runner-up of last season. He is not a player to be trifled with. Man, this is a good series. Ugh! Series isn't even over yet, and it's already made up for yesterday. Whew! Alright. So, we're going to go to a quick break and come back for game number 4. It's going to be on Outsider. Very exciting map. So, don't go anywhere, guys.